Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is going to go down in history as the most pointless Call of Duty to ever exist. And if you're wondering why this is the case, well, recently we've just gotten some new information about what is going to be happening with the Modern Warfare 2 maps from, the recent Modern Warfare 2. Apparently some of them are actually going to be coming over to the new Modern Warfare 3. Obviously we already knew we were getting a bunch of remastered maps, all of them of course from the original Modern Warfare 2, but now we are also getting some of the maps from the more recent Modern Warfare 2. So Call of Duty themselves say in a blog post that before Season 1, actually they don't specify it's before Season 1, but the way they word it makes it sound like they're going to be coming before Season 1. They say that 4 maps from Modern Warfare 2 will be added to Modern Warfare 3, and these maps are Farm 18, Mercado, and Shoot House. Now for some reason they left out that 4th map, but I think we can all probably assume that is going to be Shipment. It would make sense that they would throw it together with those maps. Those are probably the most loved maps in that game. And maybe I would say they're probably the most loved ones. I'm not too sure exactly how people feel about Mercado and Farm 18, but personally I think they're some of the better maps in the game. So they're basically just taking like the most well-loved maps in the game and throwing them in the game literally shortly after launch. Like we're talking a few weeks after launch. And then they also say that more maps from Modern Warfare 2 will be coming throughout the live seasons, but it's very important to note that these maps do not count towards the over 12 6v6 maps that are planned to come during the live season. So it's not going to be replacing new maps or other remastered maps from other Call of Duty games. It's going to be a completely separate thing, which just means even more content for DLC. Now, of course, is it like content that's really that worthwhile? Not really, because we just played these maps last year, and it's probably as easy as just porting them over for the studios. I don't think they have to actually do much work to change up the maps, maybe just slight changes to make it fit the game better, but I don't think anything too major. I believe the maps are going to look the exact same as well, so yeah, there's not really much they're doing with them. Also, their wording is a bit weird here because they say that the maps will be available in a dedicated playlist when they're launched, but I'm not sure if that means they're only going to be in that playlist or if they're going to be in a separate playlist and then also in the main map rotation. And I kind of think that would be interesting if they were only in a separate playlist. So if we played the main playlists, we're just going to be getting the launch maps of the, the Modern Warfare 2 maps. And if you want to play the other Modern Warfare 2 maps, it's so confusing. I hate that they call both the games Modern Warfare 2 because it's so confusing going back and forth between the names. But if we're talking about the newest Modern Warfare 2, like, would we only be able to play those maps in a separate playlist? I'm not too sure how that's going to work, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, is this a good thing? Obviously, that comes down to personal opinions, and I honestly don't really have an issue with this. It's just extra content for the game, and as long as it's only the good maps from Modern Warfare 2, and it's not going to include maps like Border Crossing, Embassy, El Asilo, or Tarak, like those are maps I just really don't like from Modern Warfare 2. I don't want to see Black Gold either. I don't want to see the Hatchery map. Like, there's a lot of maps in that game I do not like, and I do not want to see return. But if it's the good maps only, which obviously these 4 maps are good maps in my opinion, I mean, obviously we have our issues with Shipment. I personally am sick of the Shipment 24/7 playlists, but the map itself is obviously not a bad map. I'm totally fine with Shipment, so it's, again, fine map. Mercado, Shoot House, and Farm 18, they're good maps. And I think what's also important to keep in mind is we've only ever played these maps in Modern Warfare 2, or of course Shoot House and Shipment, we played those before as well, but we've never seen how those will play in Modern Warfare 3. So chances are these maps could play a lot better in Modern Warfare 3, and I'm actually genuinely very curious to see how they're going to play in Modern Warfare 3 with the faster movement, the slower time to kill. I think all of that is just going to make it play possibly a lot better than what Modern Warfare 2 was. So I'm curious to see that. And like I said, other maps, like I wouldn't mind seeing like Vondel Waterfront. I really like that map. I would love to see that come back. The Season 6 maps were pretty good as well. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing some of those maps return. Are they going to also return all the remakes from that game, like Dome and Showdown? Maybe. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. Again, if they already have them there, they might as well port them over. But I do not want them to port over the bad maps. I think that's the only way this is going to be a good thing, is if they only bring over the good maps and leave the bad maps there, which of course is up to opinion, what's good and bad, but hopefully they can kind of tell how the community feels about certain maps and just keep the ones that people like. It makes sense since they're already bringing over all the guns from Modern Warfare 2 and a lot of other things from that game. You might as well bring over some of the maps as well. But what's just going to be crazy is this is going to be the most content-heavy Call of Duty of all time. When you really think about it, even just during Season 1, it's going to probably have the most amount of content we've seen from a Call of Duty ever. And then you go to Season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's just going to be insane how much stuff's going to be in this game. Even if a lot of it's remade stuff and ported over stuff and remasters, it still is going to be the most we've ever had. I would love to see a lot of new stuff, obviously. That's my biggest concern with this game currently, is the fact that there's not many new maps down the pipeline. I know they're saying 12 new DLC maps, but I'm not sure if that includes remasters. I really hope it doesn't. We know it doesn't include the Modern Warfare 2 maps, but I'm just saying, will it include also other remasters? I have no idea, but hopefully not, because I would love to see 12 new maps coming for DLC. But then this brings up the original point of this video. What is even the point of going back to Modern Warfare 2? Like, this is going to be the most pointless Call of Duty in history just because of this. There's literally nothing to that game that'll ever make me go, oh, you know what, I should go return to that. Obviously, you have like DMZ lovers that are going to have DMZ, but is DMZ really even part of Modern Warfare 2? It's kind of a separate thing now, just like Warzone is. So, I mean, sure, you can consider that part of Modern Warfare 2, but if we're talking just Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer itself, there is no reason to go back to it. Every single gun there is going to be in Modern Warfare 3. Most of the good maps will be there as well, it seems like, and the operators are going to be there. Like, what does that game have to offer that is going to make someone want to go back to it? Of course, you could say, oh, the gameplay. Like, I just like the gameplay of it. And sure, if that's one of your favorite Call of Duties in terms of gameplay, then sure, you'd have a reason to go back to it. But I think most people would agree that there's plenty of other Call of Duties that have similar aspects and just do it better, I guess you could say. So I don't know. Like, it's so funny to me because Call of Duty has always been that franchise where going back to prior Call of Duties has always been worthwhile, even for the bad ones. Like, I'll revisit Call of Duty Ghosts from time to time, even though I hate that game, just because there are some cool elements to it. There's a lot of unique DLC maps in that game. The perk system's kind of cool. Like, there's generally some stuff to Ghosts that I'll go back and revisit. And you go even like Modern Warfare 2019. I hate that Call of Duty. It's one of my least favorites. But there's some stuff to it that is only in that game. I might as well go back and try it out. You know, there's some guns in there that we don't have in any other Call of Duties. So again, unique stuff to the game. Modern Warfare 2 is going to go down in history as the most pointless. There's just nothing to that game that I'm ever going to feel the need to return to. When it comes to multiplayer, of course. Like I said, you can go back to campaign, DMZ, whatever. But the multiplayer, no. There's never going to be a reason. There's no purpose for it. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. Like, I genuinely don't think that's a bad thing. It's kind of just whatever because, I mean, I didn't like that game. I don't really want to go back to it. But I do get kind of worried for, like, the future games because if you really think about it, like, we're probably going to have this happen again. Like, Black Ops 2024 is probably going to have a similar situation with Black Ops, or whatever the Call of Duty is in 2025. They're probably going to do the same thing where it has the carryover feature and a bunch of stuff from COD 2024 goes over to 2025. Now, it wouldn't be the end of the world as long as there's unique things to that specific game. But if it ends up just porting everything over and improving on the gameplay in some sense, it's going to feel like, okay, well, what's really the point of going over to that game? And I'm hopeful that won't be the case because we have heard some rumors of it being in the 90s, and we've also heard rumors of the COD 2025 being in the future. So if that's going to be the case, well, then there's definitely a significant difference in the setting there, which could lead to a significant difference in how the games feel. And there might be more of a reason to go back to that. Obviously, this is not talking about like zombies and stuff because I doubt they're going to port over all the zombies maps as well. That would be a bit much. So there are going to be unique things to COD 2024 just from the get-go, for sure. But it's such an interesting thing to me because this is the first time in Call of Duty history this has ever happened. I haven't felt this for any other COD. There's never been, even the worst Call of Duties out there, like I've never felt like this was a big issue. Now I feel like it is. And I feel like if you were the type of person who doesn't really buy every Call of Duty, you just kind of buy them every now and then, like I feel really bad for you if you bought Modern Warfare 2. If that was the one COD you decided to buy, if that was the one you decided, yes, I'm going to purchase this, like I feel horrible for you because it's like, that's kind of shitty to just jump into a Call of Duty and then get the game that has, well, not a lot of content to it if we're going to compare it to Modern Warfare 3, and then, you know, you're going to get a much better experience with that. Obviously, it's a subjective, I know, in terms of the gameplay, but, I mean, if you wanted a slower, more tactical shooter, you could have just played Modern Warfare 2019, if we're going to be honest. Like, the gameplay of Modern Warfare 2019 is not that far off from MWIII. MWIII is just a bit slower with the movement and obviously the perk system and stuff like that. There's definitely things that are worse about that game. There's also things that are a bit better. But if you just wanted that similar sort of experience, there's Call of Duties that have that to offer. Like, Modern Warfare 2, literally, the multiplayer, there's nothing original about it anymore. It's gone. It's forgotten about. And I don't know, I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was kind of interesting because this is the first time that happened. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Are you ever going to revisit Modern Warfare 2? I'm sure because I'm a content creator, I will revisit it. I love doing like a playing every Call of Duty in one video type video. So I would definitely revisit it just for stuff like that. But in case of like actually going back and having fun with it, I'm never going to do it. And I've revisited like every other Call of Duty. I frequently go back to Vanguard recently. I genuinely like to do that. Same with, you know, Black Ops Cold War, and even Modern Warfare 2019 sometimes, even though I don't like that game, I sometimes have revisited it. But Modern Warfare 2, I see no reason to revisit it. There's zero reason. We're going to have all the guns and most of the maps in Modern Warfare 3. It's basically like the remake in the game, redoing it, basically. It's a very different game. I've mentioned that in other videos. It does feel very different. It feels like its own thing. But that's what I'm saying, is it just does everything better. There's really nothing Modern Warfare 2 has to offer. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.